Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma. Thank you for joining us, and a big Happy New Year to all of our followers and
Happy New
viewers. We hope you've been able to enjoy your holidays. I know there's a lot of people who are actually still in quarantine, even here in Australia. So our thoughts are with you guys. If you weren't able to celebrate with your friends and family, we're feeling for you. But look, we do wish you all a very happy and prosperous New Year. Fingers crossed 2021 is better.
Hopefully it's a good year for film as well.
Yes, absolutely. So we are back with another film review and not Star Wars for once.
No, we're finally back to our usual program. We've got all that Star Wars content out of our system.
Yes. So we actually went and saw a new movie that is out at the cinemas, and a movie that's been really dividing people. I mean, this one's getting a lot of hate.
Hotly debated.
Yeah.
Very divisive.
So it was Wonder Woman 84. And this won't be spoilers. We will keep the spoiler free for you. So feel free to stick around. We're not going to ruin it.
You're safe.
You're safe.
You're in a safe space.
This is a safe space. And we'll kick it off with a little synopsis first.
Yeah, so Wonder Woman 84 follows the title character as she battles to stop an oil tycoon who is drunk with power. Now, as to what I thought this was okay. I thought it was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I was kind of somewhere in the middle. Now, I went into this, reading all the reviews, watching all the reviews on YouTube, and people really hate this movie. Like, people are bashing it online.
Yeah.
So I went in with zero expectation. Like, I thought this was going to be a train wreck. And it wasn't.
No.
I was watching and I'm like, this is fine. It's fine. Like, I don't get the outrage. Like, I just don't get it. I can understand if you didn't think it was as good as the first one. I definitely think the first one is superior. I can get that there's certain elements that you didn't quite like. But to call this trash or a dumpster fire or anything like that, I think it's just a little bit over the top. I thought this movie did some good things, I thought the acting was quite good. Pedro Pascal as Max Lord, I thought was fantastic. He was just hamming up the screen, chewing the scenery, just really getting into it, having fun with it, which I love to see. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig, I thought was great as Cheetah. I was a little bit worried about her going in, being more of a comedic actress, whether she could handle the more serious dramatic elements. I thought she did a good job in that role, kind of balancing that out. And Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, whoever you want to pronounce it, I think she's really improved.
Yeah.
I always thought she was maybe a little bit wooden in her acting. I think she's really improved on that. The emotional beats that this movie wants to hit, she hits.
Yeah.
And I felt that. And I think that was probably one of the improvements on the first one, was I didn't really feel those emotional beats in the first one. I felt them in the second one. I thought she did a fantastic job. I think she's really improved as an actress and really stepped into the shoes of Wonder Woman. I think she's really become Wonder Woman at this point, which is great to see. So the acting was great. I also thought that the themes were really good. And the overall message of, not cheating to get ahead, doing things the right way, not fast tracking things, working towards what you want to achieve. I think that's kind of set up in the first scene, which surprisingly the studio wanted to cut.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't, because that opening scene is, it's badass.
It's one of the most exciting scenes of the movie, kicks it off on the right foot. I think it sets the themes and the message of the movie up beautifully. So I don't think it should have been cut at all. I think Patty Jenkins was right to fight for that scene to stay in the movie. And I think overall, the 80s aesthetic worked for the film.
I think they nailed it with the fashion.
Yeah, I mean, the mall scene which you saw in the trailer, I thought that was really fun. Really nailed that 80s aesthetic and just a bit more of a lighter tone than what we're used to for a DC movie. A little bit more over the top and cheesy, but I think that's what they were trying to do. I feel like this is a homage to those old school Wonder Woman shows, like those old like Superman movies, stuff like that. The stuff that Patty probably grew up on as a fan. So I think this is a homage to that.
Yeah.
And I think it does a good job of being a homage. I think it hits those lighter moments and does play it up and ham it up and is a little bit cheesy. And maybe that's why people didn't like it as much, because people are used to like the dark, gritty DC. And this was not that at all. This completely kind of flipped the script on that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why people didn't like it as much. I don't know.
Well, could be that, but I think a lot of the heat has been for the plot line and what the overall story was about.
Yeah. See, people don't like devices in movies that make things convenient to happen, right? They don't like things that kind of break, I guess, the rules, like that should be set up for a world or universe. It's kind of like the Force in Star Wars, right? The Force is one of those things that's like anything can happen because it's this magical element. And when there isn't strict rules set for that in the universe, and a character does something that someone doesn't like, say Princess Leia's Mary Poppins scene, people don't seem to like that very much. And I feel like this movie did have a little bit of an element of that in it, where we're in a world where we've got gods and magic and abilities and metahumans, and the rules are a little bit, where's the line, right? Like, and I feel like the stuff they did in this movie may have pushed the boundaries of that a little bit, where people are like, well, hang on a minute, that's a bit over the top, that's a bit much. And yet here's Wonder Woman like using a magical lasso to make people tell the truth and all that. So, you know, I think we can suspend our disbelief with things like this, especially in a universe like this.
Where it's already far-fetched.
Yeah, exactly. So, and look, some people are going to be better at suspending their disbelief than others. I mean, if you're wanting a bit more of a realistic, grounded superhero tale, then maybe something like Batman is more of your thing, like Christopher Nolan's Batman, or maybe like the new Batman coming up. Like that seems kind of really grounded and realistic. But I don't think this is it. I don't think Wonder Woman is meant to be that. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I actually like that lighter tone, that it went a little bit over the top. There was a bit more fun. Actually, I appreciated that about it.
Yeah.
I think maybe the main issue that I kind of agree with is I think the middle section does drag out for quite a while. This is a long movie. I think it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. It is a long movie. But in saying that, I mean, they do have to establish a lot of these characters. You know, you've got to establish Cheetah as a character. You know, she just doesn't become this bad person. You know, they need to set her up. And I kind of agree that they're using the cliche with like the nerdy person that then becomes cool and all that. But there is a bit of a twist with it that I did like. So I actually didn't mind that. And again, it's paying homage to those old school, shows and movies. So I feel like it's got to hit a couple of those tropes. So it's got to set up Cheetah's character. It's also got to reestablish the relationship between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. Now, he is in the trailer, so again, not a spoiler. We all know he's coming back. I won't say in what capacity, but they need to reestablish that relationship and kind of how that works in this 1984 world. They need to establish Pedro Pascal's character. And he's not a one-dimensional character either, so they need to set him up. You know, where did he come from? You know, what are his ambitions? What does he want to achieve? And so, while saying, like, yes, that middle section did drag, I'm like, well, what do you cut? What do you cut? Because they do need to establish kind of all of these things, and it all kind of... I thought the editing was fine, right? Like, it did tell its story quite cleanly. And the problem that DC's had in the past is they've asked filmmakers to trim their movies down. And so you get like this real kind of jumpy editing where you're like here and then you're here. And you're like, wait, I feel like there's like about 5 minutes missing there. Yeah. And maybe that's what Patty Jenkins didn't want to do with this one. Maybe she didn't want to do that kind of choppy editing that DC's kind of been known for. Yeah. So I felt like it did tell its story coherently. But I do agree that the middle section did, move a little bit slower. But again, what do you cut out? See, I'll probably have to go back and analyse it a bit more. Yeah, well,
for me, I kind of got to the end of the movie and didn't realise that we'd been sitting there for 2.5 hours. For me, as I said, I was engaged the whole way through, that I didn't find the middle boring at all. Like, I quite enjoyed everything that was happening. Yeah, it got a little bit silly with the overall plot line, what the story was all about. Again, don't want to spoil too much. Like, I get what people are saying about that. But, I don't know, it was just a a fun movie for me.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't as good as the first Wonder Woman. I really enjoyed the first Wonder Woman. And I think it's probably...
It's one of the better DC
It's
films.
probably, in this new extended DC universe, it's probably my favourite DC
I
one
think
so
I
far.
might prefer Man of Steel just a little bit more, but I think Wonder Woman's probably close second.
I really enjoyed that, the real life, the war
the World War One kind of
aspect of
background,
it.
yeah.
I think it just kind of grounded the movie a bit.
Yeah.
Some epic scenes in that.
Yeah. In saying that, though, I felt like this movie almost felt a little bit... It's weird to say because, yeah, some of the themes and everything that was going on are quite over the top and outlandish, but the way it was executed was actually quite grounded. Like, there wasn't a massive CGI spectacle in this one. I think the most CGI I think they used was probably with Cheetah when that transformation finally happened. But outside of that, there wasn't a big CGI fight or anything like that. There weren't, like, buildings collapsing. It felt very grounded. Again, it felt very old school. Again, maybe why people didn't like it so much. And speaking of Cheetah, I think we both agree that those effects and that design of Cheetah, I don't think either of us were a massive fan of. Is that what you were going?
I was just about to say that when you mentioned her. I think for me, the only negative that I came out with was that I didn't like what they did with that character. I thought Kristen Wiig was amazing in the role. I don't have a problem with her at all. I thought she was a great fit. And I was quite skeptical at first too, because I've seen her in a comedic role, as we'll have for so long. I wasn't sure how she was going to play this part, but she did really well. I just did not like that CGI at all.
Yeah.
That face, it's so hard. I don't want to spoil too much, but that face, no.
Yeah,
I
and I think
didn't
that fight sequence was maybe a little bit lackluster as well.
Yeah.
They almost treated it like a stepping stone to get to the main event kind of thing. But in saying that, like, Cheetah's one of Wonder Woman's main bad guys from the comic books. So I don't know if she should be the stepping stone. Yeah, I mean, but again, outside of that, like, I don't think this was a complete train wreck. I think this did a lot of things right. I like the themes and the message. I think it established those really well. And all those came across quite cleanly. I thought the way the story was edited, while long, I think it was coherent, right? I could follow the story. I knew where we were. I knew where we were going. There was no point where I was like, oh, that was a bit choppy. Yeah. Like previous DC films. Could they have cut a bit out in the middle? Maybe. I probably need to go back and reanalyze that middle section a little bit more. But yeah, look, I get people's issues with it. Were they enough to completely ruin the film for us? No, I think, people are probably just overblowing this a little bit. Maybe for social media clicks and likes and what do the kids call it now? Clout. Clout. I don't know, but I think it's fine to say movie is okay. I don't think we should be getting to the point as critics where we've either got to love it or it's trash. There's got to be a middle ground there somewhere. I think it's fine for a critic to come out and say, yeah, it was okay. There was good things, there was bad things.
That's not totally...
I think completely disregarding it.
Yeah.
Completely disregarding it is not treating the people that worked on this with enough respect. Because I think Patty Jenkins, you can see that she did care about this movie. She fought for the movie. She wanted the film that she wanted to make. She wasn't letting the studio interfere, which I applaud her for. Did it 100% work? Maybe not. But I think we've got to give a little bit of respect to the filmmakers because they did put a lot of work into this. So I think we've got to give them a little bit of respect where respect is due. But I think we'll leave it there. What did you guys think of Wonder Woman 84? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Are you in the middle?
Are you in the middle with us? And that's completely fine as well.
I think I'm more on the I enjoyed it more though than I really had fun.
I think I'm solidly in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm solidly in the middle. Stuff I like, stuff I hated. But what did you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Let's have a bit of conversation about it. Let's keep it civil, guys. I know this one's been causing a bit of debate. But keep it civil. Slam that like button if you like this video. Hit the bell for notifications to see what we got coming up next. Subscribe to the channel to become part of the Headspace Films community. And most importantly of all, thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
See ya.